So where is this headed? We start tonight with Tom Cotton, who earlier this month was one of the names on the list of the president's potential Supreme Court nominees. Senator, good to have you here tonight. He has said quite clearly that it's a woman, so I'm sorry to tell you. I don't think that you're in the running at this point, at least unless we see some big changes. You know, first of all, do you think it's wise and appropriate for him to make that distinction here?
Yeah, Martha, I think the president has many capable female candidates on the list that he's released in the past, and I suspect he'll choose one this week and send it forward to the United States Senate. That's what he campaigned on doing in 2016, and we will process that nominee without delay. We did that not only in 2016, but in 2018, too, when there couldn't have been a clearer referendum just 1 month after the Brett Kavanaugh vote. 4 Democratic senators voted against him. They lost their reelection. 1 voted for him and won. So the American people returned a Republican majority to the Senate to do exactly what we intend to do, which is confirm the president's eventual nominee.
But what about timing? You know, when you look at the timeframes that we just mentioned, it is very close until the election. So what if there's a scenario where President Trump loses, and would then a nominee be pushed through in the lame duck session?
Well, first off, Martha, the president's going to win. I think he'll win a resounding victory on November 3rd, and I expect the American people will vote for a Republican Senate majority again, in part because they want to see judges on the Supreme Court who understand the difference between making the law and applying the law, in part because they see what the Democrats are already promising to do, and now they've started threatening it even more explicitly since Justice Ginsburg's death on a Friday. You have radical Democrats saying that they're going to pack the Supreme Court if we fill this vacancy. Why do they want to do that? They want the Supreme Court to be a rubber stamp for their radical left-wing agenda. They want Congress and state legislatures to be able to violate the Second Amendment and pass laws confiscating guns, and they want the Supreme Court to rubber stamp it. That's a reason why the American people are not going to vote for Democrats come November 3rd. Right. But whatever happens in terms of the timing of the president's nomination, the Senate will move forward without delay. Yeah. We'll take a careful, thorough, deliberate approach to it, and we will confirm that nominee, I am confident.
Just a bit of news just crossing as you were talking from your colleague, Cory Gardner in Colorado, who's obviously in a tight race there. He is essentially saying, he says, when a president exercises constitutional authority to nominate a judge for the Supreme Court vacancy, the Senate must decide how to best fulfill its constitutional duty of advice and consent. I have and will continue to support judicial nominees who will protect our Constitution, not legislate from the bench. Should a qualified nominee who meets this criteria be put forward, I will vote to confirm. He was one of several, including Mitt Romney and potentially Senator Grassley, who were seen to be somewhat on the bubble. We've heard already from Murkowski and Collins. Your thoughts on your colleague's statement tonight?
Well, I'm not at all surprised to hear Cory Gardner say that. Cory has been a very strong advocate for having judges from the Supreme Court down to the trial courts who understand their role in our constitutional system, their role to apply the law, not to make the law. That's one reason why he was such a strong advocate for Neil Gorsuch to become a Supreme Court justice, having come from Colorado. Mm-hmm. So that's not surprising to me at all. I believe that once we get the nominee, that nominee will be highly capable. The Senate will be thorough and careful. We won't cut corners. We won't skip steps, but there is more than enough time to confirm the president's nominee, perhaps before the election, certainly by the end of the year.
All right. So, you know, obviously there's a lot of discussion about the choice that Senator McConnell made back in 2016. And you spoke out at that point as well. This is you in light of the Merrick Garland nomination by President Obama, which was 9 months from the election at that point. Here's what you said then.
In a few short months, we will have a new president and new senators who can consider the next justice with the full faith of the American people. Why would we cut off the national debate about this next justice? Why would we squelch the voice of the people? Why would we deny the voters a chance to weigh in on the makeup of the Supreme Court?
So what do you say about that now? And, you know, you look back at that time, and it is the Senate's constitutional duty to advise and consent. And even that part of the duty of the Senate was not carried out at that point for Merrick Garland.
So, Martha, remember in 2014, we had an election in which we won a smashing victory, a large majority, delivered in part to put the brakes on the Obama agenda for the final 2 years of the Obama presidency. So it shouldn't be a surprise that when a Democratic president submitted a Supreme Court justice, the Republican Senate did not want to confirm that justice. That's exactly how we exercise our advice and consent role.
But why not take it to the vote?
Nor should anyone be surprised, Martha, that with a Republican president and a Republican Senate, that we plan to move forward to confirm exactly the common nominee that we promised in 2018. Remember, we could not have had a clearer referendum with the voters in 2018, just 1 month after the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation. We promised that we would continue to confirm the president's highly capable judicial nominees, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well, a lot of people look back at that and they look at the statements that were made by some of your colleagues, Lindsey Graham and others, who basically said, if this were to happen close to the election, we would not move forward. We would wait until after the election. So, it's going to be up to the voters to decide how they feel about all of that. We just, sort of lay it down for the record here. Here is Joe Biden appealing to GOP senators on the Supreme Court confirmation in Philadelphia yesterday. Here's what he said.
I appeal to those few Senate Republicans, the handful who really will decide what happens. Please follow your conscience. The last thing we need is to add a constitutional crisis that plunges us deeper into the abyss, deeper into the darkness.
So your reaction to what he said and how wobbly do you think, for lack of a better word, some senators might be in this process on your side?
Well, Joe Biden and the Democrats can spare their crocodile tears. Look, we know what they really think. Joe Biden said in 2016 that a Senate held by the opposition party should vote on a president's nominee. So certainly he thinks that a Senate with the same party as the White House should vote on a president's nominee. He's just upset that it's the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. But in the meantime, Joe Biden supporters are out rioting and protesting on private homes like Lindsey Graham's and Tom Tillis's and Mitch McConnell's over the weekend because they want to take this out of the constitutional process. They want to say, we're going to take radical steps like packing the Supreme Court if you move forward. But remember, they were promising those things before this weekend, so they can spare the crocodile tears and the idle threats.
All right. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about their potential for packing the Supreme Court, making Puerto Rico and D.C. potentially states, which would add 4 more senators into the mix. So lots more on that to come. Senator, thank you. Good to have you here tonight, as always, sir.
Thank you, Martha.